ain't sleeping till Hollywood, Hollywood. We ain't sleeping.
Hello, hello, hello. I am your co-host, Caleb McDonald.
And it's your girl, Gaelyn D. Smith.
And you are listening to the No Sleep Till Hollywood podcast, where we're not sleeping until we make it in Hollywood. And while we're at it, we will be discussing the state of the industry and our place in it.
And today, we are here to do a thing that we have not done in many, many months. And because it's been so many months, we're just going to have to just do a whole episode about it. But y'all, we can finally talk about TV and movies again. And I have thoughts. I have so many things to say to Caleb, to you all, about what I've seen. And I figured, we would start with the biggest movie event of the summer that nobody could discuss. The Barbie movie. Caleb.
I mean,
as president of the Ken Club, do you have things to share with us?
Yeah. I do think that it was a brilliant remake of Black Panther for white women. You have this land that is not ruined by outside society until someone comes back and realizes the treatment of their kind is unfair, so they bring it back to the home base, and home base is ready to riot. You know what I'm saying? But then the original leaders of this land, they get back in charge, and everything is restored. I truly did enjoy
the called
feminists
and white Wakanda.
I did.
My God, today.
Did you have thoughts? Opinions?
That really just sent it out. I'm mad. I forgot to bring my Barbie back so I could put my Barbie back in. I got the President Barbie, y'all. Go check on my TikTok about it. I got my Barbie. I love the Barbie movie. I am a Greta Gerwig fan, and that I've seen 2 of her movies, and both of them I've enjoyed. I've seen 2. I saw Lady Bird and I saw the Barbie movie.
Oh yeah, both great movies.
And here's the thing. Having seen Lady Bird and crying my insides out, I should have known that I was not there to play with Miss Greta Gerwig.
Mm-hmm.
And I came into this movie thinking everything was going to be sweet. In the last 30 minutes of that movie, I sobbed nasty, big girl, snotty tears. It was not cute in the back of the theater. If you ask in the Barbie movie, like, there's like the Barbie movie, and then there's like maternal trauma. And it's just like, and you're in the deep pits of despair, and you're there. There's no way out. But it's such a good movie. I feel like it was so fun in the way that, like, it explored feminism and gender and the relationships between men and women. Like, people were like, oh, it was real basic. It's feminism 101. Okay. Barbie literally just found out that there are women out there who are lesser than in other parts of life. Right. She just discovered this. She's not going to be Audre Lorde with it. She's just now understanding that people think that women are lesser. So yes, it was going to be feminism 101, but it was still really, really good in what it did. And based on a lot of y'all's tweets in the surrounding months talking about Keke Palmer and Cassie and Meg Thee Stallion, some of y'all need feminism 101. I'm here to say it. But
also, like, yes, it was 101, but this is like the first Barbie movie, the first like staple movie that's like also for kids, but still opening up this conversation.
Well, so it's for kids because it's rated R.
Okay, Barbie wasn't rated R. PG-13 maybe. There's no way it was rated R.
Now, talk, but it definitely was not intended for kids.
Well, okay, I don't say intended for kids like it was marketed for them.
Oh, it's 13. You're right.
But it's definitely a
How
movie.
Does that only have 3 stars on Google and a 7 out of 10 on IMDb and an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes? Y'all some lying mother.
But I definitely do think it's a movie that's safe for kids, and parents are more than likely taking their parents to see
You're right. I did see a lot of kids in the theater. What was interesting is I saw it with one of my college friends, Liv, who like is a Barbie. She's a Barbie. She lives in a pink world, and every day I just laugh. I love her so much, but I'm just like, we live together sophomore year, and the amount of pink that I saw has only been surpassed by the Barbie movie.
Right.
But we were both kind of saying like it was a great movie for us as adults, but like if I was a kid seeing that movie, I would have been bored because like it really was an issues-based movie, and therefore like the action, there was action in that, you know, Ken bought misogyny back to Barbie Land, and then they had to like fight it off, but like the action was still issue driven in a way where like as a kid that would have gone over my head. Like I just would have been like, I don't understand, and I would have been bored.
I mean, you know, not to bring this comparison back again, but like with Black Panther, you know, it very much is a situation where even if it wasn't happening in the outside world, like in our reality, like because of the context of the movie, like you do understand what's going on. And so I think like any boredom in kids would probably be when they're like discussing like, oh, you know, I feel like I can't do anything right when you're only 6 years old.
Yeah. I think the thing is I was seeing a lot of kids where I was like, I might have taken a kid to go see it if they were like 15 and up.
Mm-hmm.
But anything below 15, I just don't think that it was like that movie. I mean, granted, it's rated PG-13, so you really shouldn't be taking kids under 13 anyway. But like, I don't think kids like that was not Barbie the Nutcracker. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't the old Barbie like the animated movie. Like, it was not for kids at all.
It's not something to just casually turn on.
Right, and I think that was like, and I think that was an interesting thing because the way it was marketed, like nobody knew what the movie was.
Mm-hmm.
Like we knew it was a Barbie movie, and we knew they were singing, but like they never gave us a really good direction. So like people were probably taking their kids thinking it's Barbie, and it's like if I had known what it was, I wouldn't have taken my 5-year-old. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And I wish better marketing. But I want to jump into the soundtrack. I know Miss Mams is involved in a lot of allegations, so I'm not going to give too much clout on her name. But the way that we start the movie with like the Barbie song, and then when she like wakes up the next day and the song is like very crazy, that is called seasonal depression, friends. Barbie was going through seasonal depression. I don't care what anybody says. Maybe because I'm going through seasonal depression right now. Like I just saw there was just too much where I was like, is this seasonal depression? This might be seasonal depression. Right. That's really how it be. The song be good one day, and the song the next day you're like, it sounds good, but the lyrics are crazy. What's going on?
Right. And also something I did love about the Barbie movie that I feel like we don't see enough is that it was like a fully developed world. Like we're talking, the set design was amazing. Like we talked about the soundtrack, like it had its own music throughout the movie. I just really loved like the difference between Barbie Land and then America,
the world,
California, the world.
Oh yeah, because remember the whole U.S. was California. Remember in the movie,
right? Yeah.
But to your point about the set design, they did a lot of research. Like, if you grew up playing with Barbies, that was a Barbie dream house. That was the Barbie car. The shoes, the way that their feet were like in that like arch, like that is. If I had to make Barbie lifelike, that is what you would have gotten out of my head, which I loved. I also really enjoyed that all of the Kens, like they weren't all just white Ken. You know what I mean? Like, they had like different Kens, and they were all just like there. People were like, people were saying that they didn't cast attractive enough Kens, and I thought that was rude. I was like, y'all are mean, and you're terrible humans.
Right.
They were like, Ken is supposed to be like da-da-da, and people were like, Michael B. Jordan should have been Ken, or like Kofi Sierra. Like they were naming all these like extra sexy dudes, and I was like, y'all be forgetting, Ken was never the point.
He's literally just Ken. Keep it moving.
Just Ken. Like you are Kenneth.
It is not his name on the movie. Part of that blockbuster event of the summer was Barbenheimer. You know, my co-host did not see Oppenheimer.
The oppity ops with the ops and the bomb and the ops. It didn't sound like something I was going to sit through.
Yeah, no, because I did want to see it because Christopher Nolan, and you know, I wanted to see the science behind Christopher Nolan. Oh, that's crazy. The Dark Knight trilogy. He did Interstellar. He did Inception. He did Tenet. None of these are well, you need to go watch Inception.
I mean, I've seen. Least. I'm not watching Inception. You don't do horror movies.
That's not hard.
The Dark Knight I do remember. like knowing that was a movie and I saw part of it. I saw the Joker movie. I like that one.
That's not him. 1, 2. Inception is not a horror movie.
It's not.
Inception is just a thriller, but it's like, pew, pew, pew. Like it's not like, oh my gosh, like it's a great movie. And the thing about Christopher Nolan is, in each of his movies, he also did Memento. In each of his movies, he does like, he plays with plot structure. Like that man does odes to filmmaking. I just think as someone who is in the field, you should watch one of his movies to appreciate.
I watched The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. We'll talk after.
That's the one with Heath Ledger as the Joker, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll watch that.
Okay, we'll talk after. But so Oppenheimer did come out this summer. I was expecting to know like more about the science throughout the movie, and I was surprised at the fact that the movie did capture my attention for the full 3 hours. Like I did very much enjoy the movie. I was not expecting the line of the movie, "I am death, destroyer of worlds," to be a line that was said during a sex scene. Like that's one of the most quoted. I mean, it is said at a different point of the movie, but like the first time that we hear that line in the movie, he's getting some. And so I just find that crazy. But it did do a good job with the storytelling.
He was nasty and he was trying to kill everybody.
Right.
First of all, he's supposed to be working on a bomb. Why is you over here having sex?
Oh, well, that's what's actually funny. And since you didn't see it, maybe you don't know this discourse already. But the thing with Oppenheimer is he made the bomb purely because he wanted to like go through with the science of it. Once he made the bomb and the US was like, okay, we're going to go use it now. He said, whoa, you can't use this. This was science. This was an experiment. Like I didn't want to create a weapon that kills people. And that's why he's under heavy scrutiny.
This is privilege at its finest. I'm just going to make something to see what it does. With no expectation. Have you lived in America, my guy?
Yeah. So, and you know, they might remake that movie, but with the father of AI, because he feels the same way.
Child, Jesus, Lord, help us all.
But
every day we are living in a different dystopian film. At this point, I don't want to see no more dystopians. I'm writing one as we speak, but I don't even want to see them no more because what are we doing?
I do think
becoming real every day.
Every day we inch closer to madness. But I do think that it was fun for two movies to be pitted against each other. And I am kind of sad that we missed a huge summer of extreme content boiling down to those days. But it was fun to live quietly.
So many ideas. So many thoughts. I was going to be President Barbie for Halloween, guys. If you listened to a couple episodes ago, that was my Halloween costume that I couldn't do. I was sad about it. I have a dress already. The sash was only $9. I had the wig. I was ready to go. And they said, no, ma'am. It's okay. Well, while Caleb was off watching whatever that was, there were so many other things that were going on television that were out. One of my favorite things that I watched over the strike was the morning show season 3 on Apple TV. Did you watch it?
I'm trying to remember if I saw season 3 or season 2. How many seasons are there?
Season 2 because there's 3 seasons.
Yeah, I only saw season 2.
Saw season 3.
I saw the first episode of season 3, which had me excited. But
nah. Them white women was white women in on that show this season. Come on.
And Nicole
Jennifer, I don't like Jennifer Aniston in real life. But Jennifer and Reese, they put those blonde extensions in and got to business. They was shaking them extensions, okay? That season 3 was great because it starts with a bunch of the emails. They get hacked and the emails get spread on the internet. And through the hacks, we learn a whole lot of different stuff that goes down. But then we also have this big tech man trying to come in and buy this legacy media company. And as a result, there were just so many things that we got to discuss that were like incredible. because of how they did it. Nicole Beharie, who, if y'all listen to our Juneteenth episode, she was the lead actress in Miss Juneteenth. Nicole Beharie is an actor. Okay. There is something so incredible about watching somebody who maximizes their screen time. She maximized that screen time so well, sometimes we got to go watch her listen to you talk. Like, that's how. And when I tell you, there's an episode that is surrounding her character. Her character is the victim of some racial commentary. That last scene, I think it's like the last 7 minutes of the episode, is a master class in acting. If y'all have not seen the morning show, get into it. But season 3,
did this big one.
Miss Aniston, they put them clip-ins in and got to work, child. They said, I know y'all missed us, and gave us 10 crazy episodes.
Speaking of 10 crazy episodes, so there is a very popular show called The Boys, which is basically a satire of the whole superhero storytelling, and they came out with a spinoff this summer called Gen V.
Oh, that's what that is, because everybody's
talking
about the Gen V, and I don't know about that.
Right. And so, of course, Gen V is just like The Boys in the sense that if you don't have a strong stomach, tune away. Like, turn your head, don't even try to watch it. But for those of us who do love the guts killing, I mean, in the first episode, we have a character who accidentally killed her parents by bloodbending her period. That joint is demonic. But the whole show, like the story that it's telling about these people who are trying to conduct disease that kills superheroes, and the actual heroes trying to stop this disease from getting out, but the government trying to sell it. Like, it's one of those shows that expand your mind.
While we're on Amazon Prime, but away from the blood and the guts, because my stomach is sensitive. Have you watched I Am a Virgo?
I have not, because I tried the first episode.
Okay. Because I'm on episode, I think I watched the first 4 of 7 or 8. I want to like it. I want to like it so bad.
Yeah, I want to like
different. It's different, but I think it's trying to do too many things at once, and it doesn't connect storylines. It doesn't finish stories. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of beautiful moments of Black boy joy, but I don't get it. For those of you guys who have not seen it or don't know anything about it, I Am a Virgo stars Jarrell Jerome. It's Boots Riley who did Sorry to Bother You, that movie. Boots Riley show on Amazon Prime. And Jarrell Jerome plays like a 13-foot, 19-year-old giant living in Oakland. It's Oakland, not San Francisco. I think it's Oakland.
I'm pretty sure it's Oakland.
Pretty sure it's Oakland. And he, like, in the first episode, finally, like, goes out to explore the real world, and he starts to make friends. But, like, his parents made it sound like him being out in the world was going to be the craziest thing ever, and people are talking to him like he's regular. So I'm just not understanding the disconnect.
Right.
And then there's, like, all this stuff, like, at the end of every episode, so his mom, I don't know who the mom is, but I like her as an actor. I can't think of her name. And then Mike Epps plays his dad. And at the end of every episode, they're always like, these people, they're coming for us. And then we never see these people that are coming for him. It's been 4 or 5 episodes for me. And it just has not, again, a lot of different things like they're talking about. There's like the friend who's like really active in like rent strikes and like the housing crisis. And the mom's involved in that too. But they didn't meet until after she became friends with the big son. But they're in the same movement, in the same protest headquarters. So I didn't understand how we got there. And then it's just like one of the friends, like he dies randomly for no real good reason. I just don't understand what we're doing. Because then there's like this kind of romantic thing that's happening with Jarrell's character and this girl that works at this fast food restaurant that he's obsessed with. And it just all feels very separate. Like they all feel like they could be separate stories, not in the same show though.
Yeah,
But you know what show I did get into over the strikety strikes?
What show?
The Walking Dead. I like The Walking Dead.
Because I finished all of it last year. That's a really good one.
I'm only in the very beginning of season 3. I'm watching it with my dad, and binge watching with my dad is the same as watching it if it came out once a week. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Season 3?
Yeah. If it was up to me, I'd probably be on season like 10 by now. You know me.
Mm-hmm.
I kill shows. We need to start calling me the show killer. Because one thing about it, quickly, I watched all of Snowfall in 3 weeks. Don't play with me. I'm gonna watch the show. But we started watching The Walking Dead. Rick is dumb. Does he ever get smart?
Basically.
Because he's real dumb. For him to be a sheriff, he's got some of the worst leadership skills I've ever seen in my life.
I mean,
first of all, then there's that. Then why does the wife get pregnant and decide she's gonna have a baby in the middle of a zombie apocalypse? I have a theory that the baby is gonna be born a zombie. That's my theory.
Tune in to find out, folks.
Or it's gonna be stillborn, but it ain't gonna be if it's alive, it ain't no regular baby. I'm sure of this. Then what else makes me mad about this show? I just met Denai Guerrero's character. She's starting to slide herself into the show now. So I'm excited about this because I love her. When does Everybody Hates Chris get into the show?
Oh, yikes. Season 5, I think.
All right, well, I'm enjoying the show either way, but it is every now and again, it gets a little violent for me. Every now and then. I'll be like, ooh, okay. But it's okay.
Everybody Hates Chris. That will also be. That's all I will say on that note. That's all I will say on that note. Something else. That was... No, I just mean like the season that he's in, it does get a little more violent. Yeah.
She's a fan.
Speaking of violence, John Wick 4 came out this year. And, you know, those movies never need to be anything more than a man killing people because they killed his dog.
His dog?
The first movie, someone killed his dog. He ended up killing a whole like cartel. And then the second movie is, this man killed my son. We have to go after him. So now he kills all of them. But then what happens is there's this hotel that all the villains stay in, but no business is to be conducted in those hotels. Anyways, John Wick wanted his lick back for his dog getting killed, so he shot the man in the hotel. And the third and fourth movie are just everyone and their mamas going after him. And yeah, so the fourth movie, I'm
white man, right?
Yeah, Keanu Reeves.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
It's just a fun, like, easy action movie.
Because I was like, we just out here scorching the earth over. Okay. But you know, that is how we discovered America.
Oh, but also to be fair, his wife had given him that dog, and his wife died of cancer. And they broke into his home. Okay. Killed the dog.
All right.
And stole his car.
All right. Okay. I've been rewatching Degrassi. I had to start with season 2. I started watching season 1, but they were way too young and I couldn't do it. I was like, I have not been in 7th grade in a long time. I don't care. So just skip to season 2. I'm here to tell you, Emma and Spinner are the worst friends you could ever have in your entire freaking life. All right? Everybody likes to say that Degrassi was a school full of people who were all trash. No. The mess is Emma and Spinner. The other problem is Craig. Because Craig, I don't like, maybe because like now that we know so much, they be having Craig on some wild mess every season since season 1. But only in season like 3 or 4 did we find out he was bipolar. And then it was supposed to be like, oh, that's why. And I don't like that. I don't like that. He has bipolar. He does need some help. But some of the stuff he did was just because his daddy had, beat him. And so he had some trauma there. But he just wasn't raised right. Some of that is that. He wasn't raised right. But Emma and Spinner, I don't like Emma. Because Emma was always leaving Manny. And then they would get into it. She would leave Manny. And then something terrible would happen to Manny. Then she would come back in Manny's life. But she always tried to be like white savior-y, but still judging Manny. And I don't like that about her. And Spinner, I blame Spinner for Drake. And here's why I say it. Here's why I say it. Spinner got Jimmy shot because he played that prank on Rick, said it was Jimmy. Rick shot Jimmy. Jimmy go in the wheelchair. Drake left Degrassi, the show, because he didn't want to be in a wheelchair no more. And then he started rapping. And now y'all see what we stuck with.
I still have the theory, because, you know, his character was also a rapper on the show.
Yes.
I have a theory that the writers for the show, for that character, they're his ghostwriters. They're still writing the show in real time. Degrassi, 30-year reunion. Drake shows up. Oh, little boy in the wheelchair. He's a rap star now. I'm saying. High school dramas. This year, I did go back and finish High School Musical, the series.
Oh, I ain't even seen High School Musical 3, let alone High School Musical, the series, the movie, the ice cream show, the web series, the ice cream content on the Disney. I don't know.
Frozen on Ice. No, because
High School Musical, the series, the movie on ice. Like, I don't have time.
Right. No, because look, I'm an Olivia Rodrigo fan, you know, because Olivia Rodrigo, she actually got her start on the show, and
you know that lady from.
That's where I know.
I don't know her from that, but that's where y'all know her from.
Yes, and then she apparently wrote some of the music for that show as well. So like we got a little taste of her chops, and then next season she blew up. By the third season, she's like in and out of the show. Fourth season, she's not even there. But good show all the way through and through. Had one of the most amicable breakups I'd ever seen. I hated the idea of it because it was a man-loving woman couple, you know, but the man cheated with a man. The woman was emotionally cheating with a woman. And so they both were like, hey, I learned something about myself. And it was an amicable breakup. Not, oh, you cheated on me. But hey, to each their own. They were in high school, right?
Speaking of high school shows that are musicals, I have a bone to pick with Paramount Plus. Lean in, Paramount Plus. Come close to the camera. You will rue the day that you took Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies off the platform. I was in the middle of watching that show. Y'all told me it was going to go off the platform on like June 30th. Why did y'all take it off on like June 23rd? You lied to me. I had watched 4 episodes. I could have finished 6 episodes by the time you was going to take it off, but you lied to me. And y'all will rue the day. Because first of all, so my good friend Chanel Bailey, she in that show. She played Hazel on the show. And I'm here to tell you, Chanel has always been talented. Chanel has always been amazing. So I was happy that they put her on the TV so y'all could see what I had known. Why would y'all take the show off the platform like that? I personally am upset about it still, to this day. To this day. Chanel was singing her face off on that show.
I bet she was.
And Caleb will never know now.
I will never know. And it's y'all's fault. Can't even buy it. Or can I?
I'm very angry. I'm actually very upset about this.
You know what? I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna list a few movies that I was disappointed by.
Okay, yeah, let's do a quick disappointment.
1, 2, yeah. Okay, so Insidious, The Red Door, the final movie of the whole series. That's not a way how you end a series. That was like episodic show finally got its footing, and so the format went a-okay, but you didn't tell a story. You didn't conclude a story.
Ooh.
You wrote a movie for money.
This is a point. This is getting spicy. Go ahead, Caleb.
And then a movie that, you know, not too much. Because was it enjoyable? Sure. Am I happy I saw it? I can't say that. But Bottoms.
Oh, I still haven't seen it.
I am in favor of as many silly comedies out there. Don't get me wrong. And for that reason, Bottoms, I love what you're doing. Keep it up. All right?
That's such a wild clip. Such a wild 3 seconds.
Bottoms, keep it up. But my point still stands. It's same problem with La La Land. All right, with La La Land, you know, the movie presented itself as a musical. It was a musical for the first like 15 minutes, then an hour of drama, and then one song at the end. With Bottoms, it's like, oh, here's this ridiculous high school world that we're in. We're gonna throw logic in it, and it's like if the movie was 2 degrees stupider, it would have been perfect. If it was 2 degrees smarter, it would have been perfect. But it just couldn't pick a lane, and so for that, I was at odds. But to recap, like a very good movie.
I'm doing my disappointed list.
Oh, okay, so your disappointed list.
All right. Queen Sugar season 7. Why? We had 6 seasons of well laid out dramatic storytelling to then wrap up half of the storylines in the first 4 episodes of season 7, to then stagnate out, to then give me a finale episode that had so many good highs for Nova to still end up with that white cop in the end. A Black Lives Matter activist ending up with a white cop in the end and pregnant, I think. Why did we do that? I'm still angry about it because so much of this, like that show is such a beautiful show. It's about a show, the Borderlands, set in Louisiana in a fictional parish, and they are like a land-owning family. The daughter comes back to Louisiana after her father dies, and her world falls apart because she gets into a very nasty public divorce with her NBA basketball player husband. This is all the first episode. This ain't spoiling nothing. And then she comes back and she's trying to rebuild with her siblings and trying to build a life for herself that is so separate from where she's been. It's a beautiful show about land ownership, about Black farmers and the plight of Black farmers, and race in the South and poverty, and who gets access to resources and who gets to dream. And it's a beautiful show. Well, why season 7? Why? Also on that note, Project Greenlight. Project Greenlight is a reboot. I've never watched the original, but it's a reboot. And basically, industry mentors, they get together, they select a first-time filmmaker and director, and they support them in the building of their first feature film. Literally in the first episode, you get to watch like the interviews of like the final 10. And they talk about them. And they're talking about this one person. They're like, I feel like she just couldn't open up. Like, I was trying to ask her about her mom because she shared that she passed, and how that had impacted her. And she just wasn't talking. They were all like, yeah, she just seems a little, I don't know. And then they pick her. And when I tell you, that the whole show went accordingly, she was supposed to be fixing the script. We about 6 episodes in, she still ain't finished rewriting the script, ain't rewrote it, ain't did nothing. She goes to Vegas during her final writing weekend for a bachelorette party or bachelor party, still come back, ain't done nothing. The whole show was her sitting around being like, I don't know. Why did we pick her? From the interview, we all knew what we were doing. And the interview was exactly how she showed up. It was so painful to watch that I just could not. I watched the whole season, but it was so painful to watch.
Was she
bad? No.
Oh, that hurts.
The Mentors, Kumail Nanjiani, Gina Prince Bythewood, Issa Rae. And now, I do feel like the 3 of them were not as hands-on as they should have been for a process like this, because Gina was like doing the edits for Woman King and Issa was shooting Barbie. Like, they're busy, and I understand that, but it probably just meant that this wasn't the right time for y'all to take on this thing. Right. But she's working with like Issa's production company, and like there are just so many moments where people were just like, we need you to do something. And she just was not doing it. It's like, I learned a lot about the making and the workings of a feature film, but I also learned like everybody can't do it. And that was just an example of somebody where just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There were a lot of decisions that she just like refused to make or didn't make. The script never got any better. And so they were trying, like, after they watched the cut, they were like, how do we fix what's not in the script? By re-editing. And I said, oh,
That's serious.
And the last show that really, oh no, that's not true. There's two more. I'm going to go through them quickly. Both Apple TV shows, which, as most people know, I'm an Apple TV warrior.
Yeah, Apple TV
Sad.
cooks.
We Crashed and Loot.
Fair, actually. I understand.
We Crashed wanted to be the one that Hulu did about Theranos so bad, but the problem was the pacing of the We Crashed was so bad. Because it was 8 episodes and it could have been 4. They just kept trying to stretch stuff out that didn't make sense. I think Jared Leto and Anne Hathaway were great in it, but the structure and the pacing just did nothing to help the story. And then Loot. Maya Rudolph is incredible. MJ from Pose, she's in it. Michaela Jai, she's in it. I'm on episode 8. And I still can't find a reason to like it.
Yeah, I've rewatched that.
It's 2 more episodes, and I just don't.
I rewatched that first episode like 3 times, trying to love it.
I think the first episode I actually enjoyed. It was just after that, I was like I would have watched it almost if it was a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as a show, I'm just not, which is sad because I love Maya Rudolph, but it just wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't giving.
I will say. Oh, did you have one more after that?
That was
or
it.
Those were the last 2.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. There were a couple series of movies that like did continue. I did watch Fast and Furious, like the entire series up to the last one, and that was a wild ride. They end up going to space in a car. They managed to do everything. Bird Box released a sequel, Bird Box Spain, and I love. Yeah, and it was actually beautiful, like the way that they delved deeper into what this mystical being actually is and how some people are affected. I really enjoyed that.
Okay.
And then, the first movie blew people out the water. Second movie did not disappoint. Into the Spider-Verse, or Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yes, I do.
Across the Spider-Verse, that was the second one. Yes.
I didn't catch up.
That one did continue to tell a brilliant story, while also like empowering choices. I don't think we did.
I was just thinking about that because I know those came out at the same time. That's why I was like, did we talk about The Little Mermaid?
No, I don't think we did.
I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it?
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was. Here's the thing. If all it did was let little inner Gaelyn see a Black Mermaid princess and made her happy, that's all it needed to do. Because I didn't particularly I hated the extra songs. I'm not an Aquafina fan personally. I just have an issue with her and her cosplaying blackness when it suits her. Mm-hmm. That being said, it was it was beautiful to look at. I just was like, okay, it was fine. Halle was beautiful in it. Amazing singing, great performance. But it wasn't like the magic for me was seeing her in that first moment on screen.
Right.
And then after that, I feel like I didn't get the Disney magic.
Because they had me in the beginning with the way they started it. I was like, okay, this is going to be like a different retelling. But then it did prove to be
long, honey.
Yeah.
Oh, it was long.
Pairing that with another Disney movie, Elemental, that came out. Elemental was
I want to see that, but I didn't see it. Because isn't that like the Inside Out, like in the same universe?
It might be, but
universe.
It's more so the elements coming to life. I don't think it's in the same one because like there aren't people. I don't think. That one was cute. Another movie that I feel like we will have to talk about at some point. They Cloned Tyrone.
I haven't seen it yet, but yes, we need to talk about that.
That one, be on the lookout because that was storytelling with some deeper conversations that need to be had around it.
I'm very into it. I will watch
it. And my favorite movie of the year.
Uh-oh.
Galen's not going to watch it, but my favorite movie of the year was Talk to Me. it's been a while since I watched a horror movie that actually made me want to leave the lights on at night. Like that movie did some damage for the first 2 weeks after seeing it, and the way that the world building was insane. Like that was a way to catch my attention.
Absolutely not. Caleb knows my favorite movie of the year, still my favorite movie of the summer, still my favorite movie of the year, The Blackening. I don't care what none of y'all say. That is one of the best movies that has come out in a long ass time. That movie is hilarious. Go listen to the episode where we talk about it if you want to hear more of my thoughts about that. The last two things I want to talk about, which leads to a larger conversation that we probably should talk about at some point, is NBC right now has two dramas, Monday night, Tuesday night, that are starring Black people. And they're set in my hometown of Washington, D.C. If you're not watching The Irrational, if you're not watching Found, you don't like television.
If you're not watching Found, you do not like television. You do not like a good...
I just got into Found like last week, maybe a week ago. So I binged it, and now I'm caught up.
Don't get me wrong. I haven't seen a lick of it, but I support it 100%.
Caleb.
100%. 1,000%.
And you ain't watched it. So when
I love Found.
After one season, I'm going to come back to this moment and go.
I love it, okay?
Caleb, watch it.
That's my show.
It's only 7 episodes.
I haven't watched it yet.
You can literally catch up.
This is me and Found. Y'all don't understand.
The Irrational eats too. The Irrational really... I started watching The Irrational like week 2 of it being on. I didn't catch up. I had to like binge watch Found to catch up. But I love them both. The Irrational is about like a behavioral psychologist who gets called in to help solve crimes and like basically like finds the patterns of behavior that tells them the things that people are missing. And then Found is about a Black woman who was kidnapped as a child. And the little girl who plays her, if you watch P-Valley, she played Mercedes' daughter on P-Valley. But she plays, so that's the girl. She gets kidnapped as a teenager. She escapes her kidnapper. And then years later, kidnaps her kidnapper to make him help her solve crimes of other kidnappings and disappearances. And she specifically only goes and looks out for people that the police don't look out for. So people of color, indigenous folks, trans folks, sex workers, people who are addicted. Like she only goes to takes on cases to find those people. Some of the, especially, I think I'm real sensitive about that show in the sense of like, the first episode is about a little Black girl who's missing. Mm-hmm. And for people who don't know, back in like 2014, 2015, there was an 8-year-old girl named Melissa Rudd who disappeared from a homeless shelter. She has still not been found. And I don't think that there's been like an update to say that they have an indication to believe whether she's dead or alive. But like, that was like such a big thing in DC. To like be talking about Black girls who are missing. I think by the time we found out she was missing, like on the news, it had already been like 7 to 10 days. Yeah. So I'm real sensitive when it comes to that. I think just having like being a teenager in that time. So to see a show like that is centered around a Black woman looking for people that no one's looking for. It's so well done. Zach from Saved by the Bell is the kidnapper. Mm-hmm. And he acting his face off in the show. He acting down. I said, that ain't Zach, honey.
That ain't Zach.
That ain't no Zach. I thought Zach was cute. This ain't Zach, honey. But it's really good. Both of these shows are really, really good. I think it's important, especially because if we think about it, when Scandal came out, Scandal and Being Mary Jane, when those two shows came out, it's particularly Scandal because it was on network television. That was the first time in 40 years that we had a Black person leading a network television drama. So when we see these things happening on networks again, especially coming out of a strike with all the things that we know, I feel like it's really important that we are supporting those shows.
100%. And speaking of support, thank you all for supporting the No Sleep Till Hollywood podcast.
Yes.
You know, we really appreciate it. It was a tough couple of months trying to record without name dropping anything that came to mind. We tried really hard, but we do appreciate you all for staying with us and listening.
Yes.
And we hope that future content can be presented as we wish, as we like.
We back outside. And this is not to say like Caleb and I are paying attention to what is going on with the SAG-AFTRA contract. We do have concerns, like many people, about the use of AI and what that is in the contract. There are so many other things that were negotiated in the contract that were great, that were like wins for the union. But we all know that like if AI comes to take our jobs, it don't matter that equitable work days and hairstylists and everything else are here, because we know AI gonna take us all out. So we have concerns. We're still researching. We're still paying attention. So if we need to bring it back and talk about it again, we will. But we're happy that the strikes are at least over at this time. I'm so grateful because Abbott Elementary coming back on February 2nd with an hour-long episode.
A joyous day indeed.
Everybody knows that's really my show. I need that show back in my life so badly. I've rewatched the 2 seasons to no end at this point, and I need it back. So I'm grateful that the strikes are over, that people are getting back to work, and I'm hoping that we can make sure that we're protecting our career, not just allowing work to continue so it can continue to be exploited. So this has been another episode of the No Sleep Till Hollywood podcast.
Bam, bam.
Make sure you follow us at No Sleep Till Hollywood on Instagrammies. And you can follow me, Gaelyn D. Smith, at G Smitty with 2 T's and 4 Y's on anything with an @ symbol, and YouTube/G Smitty with 2 T's and 4 Y's. I'm vlogging, y'all. We outside.
And you can follow me at Caleb Subtitles. Maybe I'll post a clip of me singing like Trevor Jackson someday. I don't know. Stay tuned.
Absolutely not. I will not allow you to do it. Caleb, the day you start doing that, first of all, you can't even grow your hair out to get no rat tail. What you gonna do? Get a quick weave and glue it on your scalp?
He was swinging that thing.
I love Trevor Jackson's albums. Y'all are never gonna get me to let go of his actual music. But these tea mixes. Somebody said on his water tea mix, they were like, my friend, Jesus was in the desert for 40 days, and even he did not sing of water like that. And we not right as a people. We not
That
right.
says enough. That says enough.
It says enough. But until next time, good night, good morning, bonjour, bonsoir, adios. Bye, guys.
See ya.